Hello, I'm David Hayward. I'm a writer and consultant in the fields of Christian ministry and mission. And I'm with Fiona Fieldhouse, who belongs to St Mary's Church, Hurley, and is going to talk to me about personal discipleship plans and the way in which that has affected her life, her Christian journey. Fiona, how long is it since you first started to talk to Tina Molyneux about your own personal discipleship plan?
It started in early 2018.
Mm-hmm. And what was the impact for you of that first conversation?
It was revelationary in a way. I had to fill in a form. I had to discern what I thought might be my gifts. And Tina had this form before the meeting. And when we had the meeting, she went through it. And one of the gifts that I'd written down was writing, which she asked me about. And I explained to her that this was something I loved to do, but felt I couldn't do much of it because it didn't really seem to benefit anybody else, and it was a very selfish and personal thing to be doing. And she talked to me about God's gifts and how joyful God is if you use the gifts he's given you, which made me think a lot.
Yeah. And so having got over that hurdle of actually acknowledging to yourself that your desire to write was not just a selfish thing, it might be something that God was calling you to do. How did you then put that into practice?
I had written all my life, really, and I was in the throes of trying to write seriously, creatively, having done a course. And Tina explained to me that if you are passionate about something, it's an indication that this could be a gift from God. And so I went for it. I just hurled myself into this writing, and to my astonishment, my novel found a publisher and is now published.
So your published novel has been out for, I think, just over a year.
Yes.
And do you have any indications of what impact that's having on people who've read it?
It actually is one of the greatest joys to me that people call me up or email me to say how much they'd enjoyed it. This is not, at my stage in life, this is not about sales and a new career. This is about doing something you've enjoyed, and it's such a pleasure to hear people say, "Oh, I've just finished your book and I loved it." And to think you've given pleasure to people it's terrific. That's fantastic.
That really is terrific, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. And are you using that writing in other ways apart from having written the book?
Yes, that's the other thing that this personal discipleship plan has done for me. It's kind of made me aware of my own identity in various ways, but especially as a writer, and has given me confidence and made me able to offer to write things. For instance, during lockdown, our prayer group has been unable to meet, and so between us we've gathered a weekly printed sheet for the entire parish, and writing that is very different from creative writing, but it also is a pleasure to do, and we've managed to sustain this for quite a while.
Yeah. So you've talked about writing the novel, which of course is for the wider community, and now using your writing in the ministry in the church. How has your involvement and ministry in the church changed since doing the PDP?
Enormously. I am a behind the scenes person, and I love doing the voluntary stuff I do and behind the scenes, but I got interested. One of the first things I did on this PDP program was to think about mindfulness and spirituality. I'm familiar with Mark Williams in Oxford, his teaching,
Yeah.
And so I explored mindfulness and spirituality, and that led me to have an interest in contemplative worship.
Mm.
And luckily for me, I had an opportunity to go to a meeting when Charlie Kerr was training people, and I have explored this contemplative worship, and now there is a contemplative toolkit.
Yes.
Which we can use, and I am using that with our Come and See Lent group. The vicar kindly asked me if I'd end each session with one of the contemplative exercises, which we do.
Yes.
And we're also, we have a contemplative service in our church, and we have been invited to introduce this contemplative worship, this toolkit, into that service, which I would never have had the confidence to do before.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so you've talked about growing in confidence. Where's that confidence come from?
Oh, I've never thought of that. I've never thought of that. What a very interesting question. Guidance. Guidance. Encouragement to have some self-belief as well as belief in our Lord who guides. And it all kind of comes together.
Yes.
Being guided also by Tina, who is very helpful and supportive, and it's marvelous. I never thought at my age I would be discovering new things like this and finding them so worthwhile and fulfilling.
Yeah. So you've been doing the PDP with Tina now for 2.5, best part of 3 years.
Yes.
So what's the experience like now, having been into it so long?
Amazingly, there's always something new. It grows, it widens. It is no doubt a journey.
Yes.
One is traveling forwards all the time. I feel closer to God. I feel it is possible that, yes, He is with me in everyday stuff, not just in a church service. And especially at this very difficult time, I have found that hugely valuable.
Yeah.
In coping with difficult things. But I get the sense you never stop developing with your faith.
No.
You don't reach an end. It continues.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful. It's made the most enormous difference to my life.
Yeah. Fiona, thank you so much for sharing with us the impact of your personal discipleship plan.
It's a pleasure. Lovely to meet you. Thank you.